Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 73. Tonight, we are talking with legendary speedrunner Kosmic about speedrunning and content creation, as well as talking games we're playing and some news. All of that and more. Greetings, fellow pals. I am Andros, for those that are new here, and I am joined by my fellow Nintendo pal, co-host, and all-around awesome dude, Micah.
Yep.
Micah, I gotta tell you that I went back and listened to a bunch of our old episodes to, figure out when we first started doing our intro the exact same way every single time, where I introduce you and you say, yup. And you started the yup in episode 2, and I started doing the hello and welcome to like exactly like this in episode 4. Prior to that, it was like it's so funny to go back. Don't go back and listen to episode 1. Anybody listening?
Oh, I won't.
But I was like so much more nervous. But Micah sounds exactly the same. So Micah has always been at
nervous.
His confidence level. Yeah, no, Mike has always been.
That's my secret. I'm always nervous.
Yeah. For real, though.
And we are joined by extra special guest, the most clutch gamer alive, Kosmic.
That's me.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. We're super excited. I've been looking forward to this. I personally am a big fan of Kosmic's work. Kosmic, for those that don't know, is legendary among the speedrunning community for speedrunning Mario Bros. And you speedrun a lot more than Mario Bros, but that's like what you're known for.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter, the thing I'm known for.
Yes. It's funny because anytime speedrunning gets brought up in a conversation, your clip of you getting the first barrier for... for 455 and 454
yeah.
are always thrown in. I was even watching a Jaden animation, and you were in the speedrunning video that she did.
Yeah,
it's that's pretty cool. So Kosmic, tell us a little bit about yourself. What I guess I've already kind of given you the full red carpet what you do, but where people can find you and what kind of stuff you're working on now.
Okay, it's Kosmic with a K, and then the first one is a K, not the second C. There's 2 C. Dude, I'll go to Smash tournaments sometimes, and I'm it's Kosmic with a K when they ask what to put you in the bracket as, and they're at the start of the end, and I'm COSMIK. That sounds so dumb. But the thing it actually is kind of dumb anyway. But we all mostly make tags when we're 13, so whatever. Can't change it now.
Is that when you made the tag when you were 13?
Yeah. Well, It actually was just Kosmic with a C. It was it used to be Kosmic D12. I was somewhere around 13.
Yeah. Whatever, you either made your own or used whatever the Xbox Live game generated for you. Yeah. Yes, man, it's fun to learn the history of usernames, because Micah always.
Dude, you're not ready for that. What it actually was first. I just thought Cosmo sounded cool, and it was Cosmo backwards. It had numbers for letters. Classic epic username. So I still think the K is a little tacky, but it could have been worse.
Makes you unique.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the Kmart revival, sponsored by Kosmic. Kosmic Mart.
Let's go.
Then it will make sense. Then it'll be a brand deal. You're like, yeah, that's why the K. It's always been like that. I've always been sponsored by Kmart. Well, this is Nintendo Pals Podcast. For those that are new here, we cover each and every week. We talk Nintendo news, rumors, and community submitted questions and topics. And I wanted to give a shout out because we got a brand new 5-star review this week on Spotify from Steven's NES, which is a sweet username, by the way. He gave us a 5-star on Spotify, shouted us out on Twitter, said, I got you guys. So thanks for doing that, Steven. Appreciate that. Those 5-star reviews really help our show get discovered and help us cruise up in the rankings, as we have sat up in the top 10 for Nintendo podcasts for a few weeks now, which is really cool. Hopefully we can get up in the top 3, because that's when people will actually click on it. Nobody clicks down that far down into the lower 10s, but hey, it's still an accomplishment and really cool. Thank you all so much for leaving us those reviews. But before we hop into the first segment of our show, got to ask the age-old question, Micah. How the heck are you?
Pretty good.
Nice. Anything new happening for you?
Nope.
Nice. Kosmic, how about yourself? How are things going for you?
Dude, I've been pretty good. Had a busy week. It's a new year. I'm trying to do more things, and then you try and do too many more things all at once, and then you're like, too much, and then you just do nothing. That's like the past couple days I've huge stacked list of things to do, and then I just didn't get most of them, but whatever. I'm on a cool podcast now, so that's something.
Hey,
that
yes.
sums up my academic career pretty well.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'm in a similar boat. I was really good the first couple weeks of the year. I was like, oh man, we're pumping out video content for Nintendo Pals. I've reached out to all these guests to come onto the show, and I've got all these things going. And then this last week, I have just felt so unmotivated to do anything outside of my day job. It's so yeah, that burnout is real. I'm like, this is so weird. Why this week do I feel I haven't felt this anxious need to get stuff done, this list I have in a while, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's because I just haven't made a list like this in a while. So yeah, there you go. That's the secret, is to just not have a list.
Make lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's terrible advice. Well, generally speaking, though.
For me, things have been going pretty good as well. We had a really fun time this week doing some streams. I really enjoyed Micah streamed yesterday on our channel, Mario Maker community submitted levels, and one of our buddies submitted a level that was impossible without glitches. That I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever looked up it's not like Mario Bros where you can look up a tutorial and there's oh, this is how you do this speedrun trick. There isn't that for Mario Maker. People just do it. That's you just look out and you're like, oh, they're doing shell jumps and this kind of thing. There's not really tutorials on how to do any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I want to know where he figures out all these exploits and things, because there's no way he's discovering all these by himself.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
That game has so many objects that someone can find something maybe not no one else has found, but dude, there's so many objects that interact that you just figure out, oh, if you put this thing on a slope, it freaks out. I don't know.
yeah, like weird stuff with thwomps glitching or Goombas going crazy, Yoshi's flying off screen. Yeah. I mean, it's a programming nightmare that behind the scenes, right. I'm sure. But hey, he got you pretty good. But you did end up beating the level off stream.
Yeah, I beat one of the two off stream.
Nice. And we beat one of them on stream. We cheesed it pretty good. We did co-op to get through it. Well, that actually kind of blends us perfectly into the first segment of our show, which is What You Playing? So, Micah, what have you been playing lately besides Mario Maker 2?
Not too much. I've played... I'm trying to think. I just brain farted. Oh, Bug Fables. I'm playing Bug Fails quite a bit, and I played a lot of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh
I
yeah.
managed to like kind of 100% it. I didn't find all the hidden pixel toads, but I got all the gems and the hidden objectives or bonus objectives, and then I did like that 50 level maze thing. And I was so burned out. I will probably never play that game ever again.
Good thing the trial period's over. You won't ever have to play it again. So you beat the whole game on the free trial that comes with NSO.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. They should do some more of those. But I guess I also played just a little bit more of Clubhouse 51 games. I finally beat Renegade on the hardest setting to master it. I 100% cheated because it is impossible. It cannot be done.
Wait, how do you cheat in Renegade?
I looked up someone else playing it and did exactly what they did. I refuse to believe anyone has beaten that game without some sort of computer assistance. Like all the other AI, like they can be pretty difficult, but it's like doable. But I just get smoked by the Renegade AI so bad.
Yeah, whoever did the AI for Clubhouse 51 games, shout out to that guy or girl, because man, phenomenal AI. All of those like master computers just really go hard at games like checkers and chess.
Oh, yeah, checkers is also surprisingly difficult. I found checkers harder to master than chess.
That's pretty funny. Nice. Cosmic, what have you been playing lately?
I'll go to the other end of the spectrum, or the end of history in games. I don't know. I've been playing the NES library lately, knocking out a bunch of hard old NES games, and two recent ones that I found really good were Bucky O'Hare, which I think not a lot of people played because it came out in '92, so after the Super Nintendo. So some of those didn't get seen as much, but that game's crazy. Like, I kept saying this is
that one.
This is every game in one game. Like, this part is Contra, and this part is Battletoads, and this part is like Silver Surfer. It has every game inside it. It's insane. And then just last week I played Rygar, which is another sick NES game.
Yeah, I watched the stream of that. It was pretty funny because everybody's like, "Oh man, Rygar's so hard," and then Cosmic beat it in like one sitting.
I thought it was going to be hard, which a lot of them that people say are hard actually are, but this one just wasn't. I don't know. That the final boss is super hard, but the rest wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it looked Rygar's a fun one. Did that get any sequels ever? I don't think it did. Maybe Rygar 2.
Not sure. Could be one of those where they have like this random Game Boy sequel nobody played.
Yeah, or like got a revival on like the PlayStation. You know, like gosh, I'm trying to think. Like, what was the game that was on? There are like a bunch of Sega ones that like died, and then they tried to bring them all back, and only a couple stuck. I mean, it's Sega. They're used to dying and trying to come back from the dead. Shade thrown to Sonic the Hedgehog, but yeah, no, it doesn't look like Rygar got any sequels ever. That's crazy. That needs to come back.
Apparently, a revival on PS2, but I don't know what the details are.
Never heard of it. Oh yeah. PlayStation 4, Wii. Oh no, that's just a virtual console version of the original for those. Yeah. Sick. Nice.
Yes. Schlimtor says in chat that Rygar, the Legendary Adventure, was revived on PS2.
Dude, that did come up in the search result. Rygar, the Legendary Adventure. There you go. That's the next one for you to play.
Yeah, that's what I gotta play, dude.
Add that to the PlayStation Gauntlet when you get to that.
I want to see some good. Echo the Dolphin speedruns. I should look those up.
That game is insane. He travels faster.
So hard.
Like, move over, Sonic. Hello, Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah.
You move so much faster than you can like react if you don't know where things are.
Yeah, that one is on the Sega Genesis online. I do need to give that one a try still, Micah. I played it once on the Sega Game Gear, if you guys can believe that. I used to work for someone that was selling like retro game consoles, and so they got a Game Gear through the store, and I got to test games on it, and yeah, it was pretty difficult. It's like the water levels in Donkey Kong times 10.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Speaking of which, I'll jump into what I've been playing. My wife asked me to help her beat a challenge in Stardew Valley. So in Stardew Valley, there's like a building with arcade machines, and there is a game called Junimo Kart, and it is the Donkey Kong minecart. Just that's
that's the game.
That's the game. But playing as this like little Apple character, and I seriously, it took me. The goal is to get the highest score on the arcade machine, which is 5,000 points, and I swear, by the end of it, I was just like, I hate this. I never ever want to see another minecart ever again. It was so difficult. It's so difficult. The first level starts out like how you would imagine, so like a regular mine, and you just have to make jumps. It's sort of a platformer that's like an auto runner, and you want to get all the fruit on each level. There are 3 fruits, and getting those all together gives you like the highest score possible on the level. And since the goal is to get 5,000 points, I'm like, I've got to get the fruits. The next level has ice, which like if you hit things on a slope, your momentum doubles. And it's like so hard to like gauge where your cart is going to land, and you have to do platform perfect, like Jump King jumps, guys. I know both of you can relate to that. Jump King level jumps. Oh my goodness, it's super hard. Schliptor in chat has got my back here. He's like, that was really hard. And then after that is a level where there is a whale. A flying whale spitting bubbles at you, and those bubbles, if you get hit by them, you die. But if you land on them, they give you a boost. And they're just unpredictable, and like, it was awful. It was awful, and I'm glad that I got it and never have to do it again.
Nice.
My wife is going for 100% in Stardew Valley, and she was like, there's no way I'll ever be able to do this, so can you do this part for me? So right now, just making bank in that game, like hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. Like, could you do that for us in real life? That'd be pretty cool.
She's getting pretty close to that 100% now, right?
I think
quite a bit.
Yeah, I think this file alone. How many hours do you have in that? 148 in just this file. So it's quite a bit going into that game. Besides that, I played a little bit of Fortnite. They added some new stuff. Tilted Towers is back. If anybody played like back in the original season 1, and it's exactly the same. And by exactly the same, I mean like 80% of the people land there, and it is a death trap. So if you're new, don't go there. That's my recommendation. And besides that, I played Breath of the Wild this week. And I did a challenge run where I beat the game with nothing but my nose.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so what I ended up doing was I had a mount, which I just have it right here. This mount we made for the controller, strapped the controller to the top of this like selfie stick on a platform essentially, and just hands free played through all of the Great Plateau, and that was it. I don't know if it is even remotely possible to beat Ganon like that, but
yeah, that's what I was imagining, and I was like, you have to like parry hit. You can't like hold the shield and I don't know.
I think if I actually wanted to try and go for that, I think it might be possible if I just like beef up Link, like get a whole bunch of hearts and armor and like defense up. But I don't know how I would defeat like Thunder Blight. because that one you have to like do a multi-input parry.
Right, like backflip or whatever.
That's the only thing I could.
Or like raise the like metal rod up into him, or all that kind of stuff.
No, I can't. You can't actually do that with just one finger because.
Oh yeah, because you don't have to.
You just. I mean, that's how I did the Magnesis Shrine essentially.
Right.
So yeah, that was a good time. It was very fun. No one thought I would be able to get off the Great Plateau. At least not in one sitting.
You did it much faster than I was expecting. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, what
Like,
can I say? Speed running.
I thought you were gonna struggle a lot more than you did.
Speed running, as in runny nose. Yeah. So that's really been it for me this week. I also played a little bit of Clubhouse 51 games. That's just kind of a staple in our house. My kids love playing that one, so played a little bit of that before we started streaming tonight. My son's getting pretty good at Moncala and Six Ball Puzzle, and he was like super confident he's going to beat me. Not this time, but he did beat his mom, so that's pretty good. For a 5-year-old, I'd say that's pretty impressive.
Wow.
Well, any other games that either of you guys want to highlight that you have played lately?
I just got it. I haven't played very much of it, but Baba Is You is a pretty sick game.
I've seen a lot of ads for that one. It's like a word puzzle game, platform game.
Yeah, it's like the perfect example of what I think is cool about video games, or like what's possible, where you just get to write all of the rules, and in that game you literally write the rules. Like, I don't know, you just, walls are walls, and then you're like, I don't want them to be walls, and now they're not walls, and then stuff like that.
That's super cool. Yeah,
I'll
definitely
check that out.
Yeah, I'll have to. You'll have to tell us how that one is, because that's one I've had my eye on. I like those kinds of like chill puzzle games. Something a little bit slower paced to relax to, because all the games I'm playing are like. Oh, I guess I should shout out. I played a lot of Spelunky 2 this week. I've been really trying to get a sub 10 minutes, which is one of the achievements in the game. And it's
pretty rough.
It is rough. It's always like I get really close to the end, and then just something crazy happens off screen, and a chain reaction of explosions hits me somehow, and I'm just gone.
In Neo Babylon?
Yeah, Neo Babylon. Yep. I've also gotten beat up a lot in the lava area, which is just really unfortunate. Like, if something explodes and lava off screen, I seriously was climbing on like a rope, and a thing just flew out of nowhere, hit the enemy above me, and knocked him down into me, and I fell, bounced on a platform, and then was just like sploosh into lava. Game over. This is Spelunky, everybody. So yeah, after a good game of Spelunky, you need a good Baba Is You. that's
Yeah.
You need something like that. Well, with that, I guess we'll jump over into the next segment of our show, and let's talk some Nintendo news. So in today's Nintendo news, we have a lot of announcements, actually. Which is surprising, because I was sort of expecting that we would be getting a Nintendo Direct here in the next month or so. Usually get one in February timeframe, but a lot of these seem like things that they would announce in a Direct, so maybe we're not getting one anytime soon. So who knows? But first up, we've got Kingdom Hearts. Cloud versions are coming to the Switch February 10th, and demos for those are out now. And those demos are not really game demos, but more of connectivity test demos, so you can see how good your internet fares with cloud gaming. Yeah. Cosmic, I haven't ever heard you talk about cloud gaming. What are your thoughts on that whole movement? What do you think of it?
Especially as a speedrunner and vehement hater of any amount of latency. Probably not my preferred way of playing. I also really like to own the game, and I don't like that things could just go down, or it's like you pay X amount of money, and in the end of the day you don't actually own anything. But like, it's obviously, you know, the way of the future or whatever. I think that like the Nintendo Online service actually should just be Netflix, but every Nintendo game. Like, why do we not pay the Nintendo Switch Online subscription and then get the Wii Shop channel? Like, just every game, you know? I'd pay the $80 or whatever for that,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah.
for some N64 games.
Yeah, you get
That's
like
what I think.
the whole virtual console library. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be incredible.
I think they charge more than $80 for that. That's just be my guess. Seeing as like on the Wii, I think each of those games costs like, it was like weird currency. It was like, but I think it was 100 points was like $1, right? So most of those were like $3
like
to $5 a
N64
pop.
ones were always like 15.
Yeah,
Or maybe
yeah, they were. I don't know what the deal is. I feel like Nintendo for the N64, they always price it like way higher. And to be to be frank, the N64 of like all the retro consoles has probably aged the poorest, because it's like the first shot at 3D. So it's a little hard to go back to some of those games, you know?
Yeah, like Ocarina of Time.
Oh, don't go in here throwing shade at Ocarina of Time. Boo. Micah is vehement. He vehemently does not like Ocarina of Time after his most recent playthrough.
It just couldn't have possibly lived up to my memories and nostalgia. So I played through again. I was just like, this is not nearly as good as I remembered it being.
Well, that actually ties pretty well, because next news item we have here is that Banjo-Kazooie has come to NSO N64's app, and Majora's Mask was announced to be coming next month. So Majora's Mask, you can give N64 Zelda another go, Micah.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it, but I'm concerned it might have some of the same problems that I had with Ocarina of Time. But who knows?
Yeah, both Micah and I missed out on Majora's Mask. You've played Majora's Mask Cosmic? I think have you speedrun that one previously?
Not really. The way I got into speedrunning was like messing around in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So I'm like super familiar with them, but I haven't ran Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That game is really cool. Like, I don't know. I feel like even if you don't like Zelda, you could possibly like that game. It's just really unique, and I like watching people play that a lot too. Like, I've watched a few people's first playthrough of it because there's so much to just like solve about the game. I don't know. It's really cool. Hopefully, like you were saying, N64 sometimes doesn't age well, and it doesn't help that like every new iteration of Virtual Console gets worse and worse. Like the Wii one was good, and then they just keep making it worse. So hopefully, it's not as bad as Ocarina of Time was on Switch Online.
Yeah.
And actually, when I recently played through Ocarina of Time, I played on the GameCube remaster pack thing they had, so I didn't even have to deal with like slight latency.
Yeah, apparently there was like slight lag, and there was also problems with like everybody like pointed to the like one room with
Dark Link's room.
Yeah. So apparently the latest patch did fix that. So
that's good.
Yeah, but it's still they were like, it's not perfect, but it is definitely an improvement from where it was at. And it makes me wonder if they like knew it wasn't that good and they've been working on this patch the whole time, or if they are responding to the outcry, because a lot of people were very upset about how Ocarina of Time specifically ran. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, but Banjo-Kazooie seems to be running awesomely, and the bits that I saw of it, like, it looks like they sharpened it up. It looked really good for N64, so that's good. Doing good service to Rare.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see a Rare game on there. Like, I could see DK64 because, you know, that's Donkey Kong. They obviously fully own that, but like Banjo was really surprising, and it before Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah,
very interesting.
I wonder if we will get DK64. He's kind of the black sheep of the Donkey Kong game family. I liked it though. At least as a kid, I remember it being really fun.
Mhm.
Like
I've been saying it's crazy that like Donkey Kong and Kirby, they're not like Zelda and Mario, like frontline AAA titles, but they're like some of the biggest Nintendo IPs still. And there's that one 3D Donkey Kong and no 3D Kirby games. Finally, we got a 3D Kirby game coming, and so that's really exciting. Maybe one day we can finally get another 3D Donkey Kong too.
yeah, yeah. I think a 3D Donkey Kong game would be really cool, especially since he's going to be cameoing in the upcoming Mario movie. Maybe we get a
We
full
get
game.
Seth Rogen in 3D.
Yeah, we'll get a full game with Seth Rogen and voice acting. Voice acting for Donkey Kong. So besides that, in the news, we've got Pokemon Legends Arceus releases January 28th. We record these episodes Friday. They go up on all podcast platforms Monday, so it should be coming out in less than a week at the time that you're listening to this. In fact, next week's episode, it will be launch day. So I'm pretty excited for this one. They actually released today a 3D like video that you could watch where it shows you from the perspective of someone riding the Pokemon that they've shown in the trailers, the like Stantler thing and the Braviary glider, and I can't remember what the fish is called. Basculegion. There we go. Haha, I did actually know some Pokemon names. But yeah, but that actually it was coming through YouTube, so I don't know how good my frame rate for a 3D on YouTube on my phone is. So that the frame rate was a little choppy, but graphically it looked pretty good, especially for a Pokemon game. So it actually made me very excited for it that they released something like that, because it's really like boldly showing like this is going to be a full 3D game, and the area was really big. Even though this isn't going to be like true open world, it's going to be more like Monster Hunter. It looked like it was going to be plenty of space to explore. Yeah, so that's Pokemon Legends. And next, coming back to the N64, I wanted to highlight this. My Nintendo Rewards for Europe is giving N64 posters for 500 silver coins. You can get an Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, and Star Fox 64 poster. And they are so cool looking. I really hope that those come stateside.
Wow, really? I always thought the silver coins were like so useless, but now I want that. It's probably going to be one of those things that is like sold out immediately, right?
Yep.
If it does.
Yeah, so
they're doing pretty good with their last couple releases like that with the Metroid Dread posters. Seems like those didn't go out too quick.
Oh, okay. Man, I just ruled out the silver coins. Sounds like they've been dropping some cool stuff lately.
Yeah, I got
this bad boy recently. Kind of hard to see with all the glare.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, what's the finish on that called? I can't remember, but it's like
good question. Acrylic.
Yeah, that's right. It's like an acrylic finish on that. I got a really cool poster set when they did the 3D All Stars, and it had Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy full posters, which is really, really cool. You do have to pay shipping on those, so the coins are essentially useless. But I mean, it's like $7, and you can get a bundle of 3 posters. So pretty cool. Those posters, I don't think I've seen like a Mario 64 official poster sold ever before. So it's pretty cool. I would definitely, I'm definitely gonna get those as soon if
what was
they
the
launch.
third one? Star Fox. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yes. I wish I don't have a picture of them up. I'd show them on screen, but there you go. Then last bit of news we have to cover here is that Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is coming April 5th, and they did a big old gameplay trailer where they went over things that you could do in the game, and it looks very cool, honestly. Like, I played so it's Lego Star Wars the original trilogy. Not so it's four movies 4, 5, and 6, and it was out on the Wii at the time, and I really enjoyed that one. And then they released like the complete saga, and it was 1 through 6, and I didn't really get as into that one. But this one looks straight up like they're making Mass Effect, but with Legos. Like it's
Wow.
bizarre. You've got like third person shooting, and the like things have reactions to where they get shot. Like they'll like grab their feet if they're shot on the foot, and it was very in depth and looked like you could travel in big open world areas and go from planet to planet as you unlock them. So at any point, you don't have to follow the story. You can just be like, I want to go to Tatooine right now and see what's going on over there. So that's pretty cool. You played any of the Lego games, Cosmic?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was like 1 to 3 and 4 to 6 were separate games, and then like I think we got both of those and the complete saga when that came out. So I played like all of them. I saw that they were announcing this recently, and I was like, sounds pretty nostalgic. Kind of tempted, honestly.
Yeah.
So they get you.
That's how they get you. This one
That-
was supposed to come out last year and did get delayed, but it looks like they really have put a lot of work into this one, whereas a lot of the Lego games have felt like very much like reskins of the same game, with gameplay mechanics being like just one for one. This is like a really big overhaul to the original games. So if that if that increases the temptation at all, here I am selling Lego.
Let's go.
Micah, how about you? Did you play these games?
I've played at friends' house, just like maybe like a couple of hours, but I've never owned any of them. So I'm not as tempted by the nostalgia.
What he's saying is he doesn't like fun. That's what I'm hearing.
Anti-fun guy in here.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems like ones that would be good for kids as well. So I'm excited to get this one, play with my kids.
For your kids, yeah.
Yeah, for my kids. Yeah, it's for them. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just like Lego
What
Mario.
a great dad.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Dude, I'm waiting for the Lego Mario video game. That would be so sick.
Oh, that would be really good. I imagine that being like a 3D game. And, oh, man. The Lego Marios are like really cool. They're super cool. They have like a lot more features to them than I would have thought. And we have both Mario and Luigi now. And it's hilarious. Like one of them falls over. So if like Mario falls over, Luigi will be like, "Are you okay, Mario?"
What?
Yeah. They like talk to each other. It's like my dream toy from when I was a kid, but obviously not a kid anymore. So it's my kid's toy that they really enjoy playing.
Right.
If these had been out when I was a kid, this would have been like all the rage in my house for sure. Yeah. So that's all we got going in the news this week. So yeah, any of these games are any of these games on y'all's list to buy and play? We talked Kingdom Hearts, Pokemon Legends, and Lego Star Wars. Any of those going to be on any of y'all's radar?
When does the Lego one come out? The Pokemon one snuck up on me super fast because I'm thinking I'll probably play through that. I'm not one of those people that like if the Pokemon game isn't like the best graphics ever, it will ruin all amount of fun for me. I do think like
That's a good
they should
thing.
probably chill a little bit and take a little more time instead of pumping them out as fast as they do. But
Agreed.
I still think they can be pretty fun. So I'll probably play that one.
Yeah.
I feel like I tend to actually enjoy their more like spin-off series more than their mainline
Right.
games nowadays.
Dude,
Okay.
Coliseum.
Pokemon
So good.
Snap was like the best. New Pokemon Snap was really good. I really liked it. But the thing is, if like you aren't into Pokemon Snap, then you aren't into Pokemon Snap. That's like such a
Yeah.
such a niche style game. Yeah, this one looks really good to me. I like that it focuses in a way on like the collecting of Pokemon more, because I mean at least it hasn't really shown like gyms. I mean, there are like boss Pokemon with the things that you have to defeat, but yeah, I'm getting this one day one for sure. I think Micah, you're gonna wait and see how
Odds are pretty good that I'm going to be getting it. I'm mostly just waiting just in case it comes out and it turns out it's really bad or something. But
yeah,
odds are pretty good I'll be picking that up.
well, I didn't talk about this too much in the news, but it has leaked in a major way. Some people have gotten a hold of the game early, screenshots and video footage all over the web. So if you are looking to avoid spoilers, you've been warned. Like, don't go out and look for Pokemon Legends stuff, because right now it's going to be all over. There's a lot of spoilers out there online right now. I don't know what it is, but it seems like I think it's just because Pokemon's so popular, but it seems like the last several Pokemon games, like the whole game is uploaded onto the internet like a month early before it even releases. It's like, how? That does not happen for like any other Nintendo game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Pokemon Company, they just can't keep it under wraps, I guess. Well, with that, we will move to the next segment of our show, which is usually the rumor mill, but we don't have any rumors cooking in the rumor mill unless you count Pokemon leaks. But we're not going to talk about this here. I got to avoid spoilers entirely, as that's coming out in just a week. So we will move next into the community corner. And in today's community corner, we are focused on Kosmic, who's here to
that's me.
who's here to talk about his experience.
How long has he been here?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been muted this whole time. Whoops. Just kidding.
Who is here to talk about his experience as a gamer, as a speedrunner, and as a content creator. So we've got a bunch of questions we're going to ask you here, and then we also have a ton of questions from the community, which are kind of to you and to us as a group. So let's start with the first question here. So how did you first get into gaming?
Gaming period. So I'm the youngest child, and older siblings already had NES, Super Nintendo, and N64 by the time I have memories. So it was just always there. The earliest ones I remember is like playing Super Mario Bros. 1 and 3 and Ninja Turtles on the NES with a healthy amount of Game Genie codes because I was like 3. But
Nice.
yeah.
So you had a Game Genie, which
Yeah.
There you go.
Played a lot of Ocarina of Time. The first game I remember not having and then having is Majora's Mask. So that you can figure out exactly what year this is, basically. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Just always played them. Got the GameCube when that came out. Best console, by the way.
Yeah.
And then let's go.
Yeah, Micah is.
Oh, so many good games.
Yeah, so here's my confession is that I never owned a GameCube. We skipped that generation.
Still haven't forgiven him.
Dude,
Yeah.
do you know what that means?
It means that I missed out on Billy Hatcher. That's which is
True.
really sad.
It means you are. Well, I don't know if you've like tried to catch up and go back and play many of them at this point, or still haven't played much of it.
So I've played all of Mario Sunshine, played all of Smash Bros. Melee, and I think that's really all I've hit for the GameCube library that that's popular that I can.
You
that I
played
can-
Wind Waker, but
Oh yeah, all of
And
Wind
that was
Waker. I played the
Wii U,
HD version on Wii U. Yeah.
I see. Well, this
I
actually
feel
means-
judged.
This actually means I'm just No, I'm just like pulling your leg. It actually means you are extremely lucky because you have so many games you haven't played that you can now go play that I think are incredible.
Nice. Yeah.
Whenever people are like, I have not played this super good game, I'm actually really jealous of them because I would love to go play it for the first time.
Yeah, playing Wind Waker for the first time was quite awesome to do as an adult because I'm a huge Zelda fan, and that was like the one game. So I missed Majora's Mask, and that was like the gap in my Zelda history, and then jumped in on Twilight Princess. And I feel like if I had played Wind Waker when it first came out, I'd probably be here with Micah saying like, this is the greatest Zelda game ever made. But instead I'm saying that like Twilight Princess is like the best. I love Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time.
Dude, I just realized like GameCube is my favorite console, but the GameCube Zeldas are like the ones that aren't, well, Skyward Sword. Whatever. They're not my favorite on the GameCube. Let's just do that.
Skyward Sword was Wii.
About Wind Waker.
Wind Waker is like fourth favorite 3D Zelda.
Hey, that's where it sits for me too. Yeah. At least right now.
But it has the best combat.
It does have really good combat for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, you can't. You at least can't say Ocarina of Time combat's better. I will say, I think Wind Waker, like the enemy, you don't take enough damage.
That's
So it makes
that's
it
what I
too
was about to
easy
say.
that way.
I was like, nothing
But-
does any damage, and you can
but
just kind of push B and they die.
Yeah, but I think you like the hordes of enemies, and sometimes they're like different configurations of them, and they get in each other's ways sometimes. I think that's a lot of fun, and you can play around with that. In Ocarina of Time, you're like, oh, there are these two guys, but only one of them is actually going to attack me at once, while the other is like, especially with Lizalfo, is just going to run off and stand and watch.
I was gonna say playing it now, as like first time playing it, which was just like this last month, about a month ago is when I finished, and there's like so much stuff that they put into this game that they were like, all right, well, never doing that again until Breath of the Wild, and then they brought all these things back, like the free roaming camera and like the style of combat where you can like pick up different enemies' weapons and use those against them, and the glider.
True, the glider. What? When did Minish Cap come out?
That would have been about the same time, I think.
That doesn't have a glider, but it has like the cape thing. So I'm just like trying to figure out which game really had the first sort of glider.
Yeah, I think it is Wind Waker.
Probably Wind Waker. Yeah. It also is like way better than the cape. So.
Yeah. So you were saying the best game. So what games do you recommend playing on GameCube? As
Metroid Prime, Luigi's Mansion.
All right,
Micah
and Kosmic are
F-Zero
secretly twins. What on earth? Did Micah pay you to say these? Because like that's like those like shot for shot his favorite two games were the first two that you listed off.
They're just so good.
It's a great console.
Pokemon Coliseum and Billy Hatcher, obviously, and I'm sure I can keep going.
Yeah, Datsun says Billy Prime. Billy Prime. Yeah, I gotta play that. Yeah, so there's a lot to go back and play.
I would just like to point out this really smart person in chat who says Mike is right about the combat in Wind Waker. Schlimtor. Distinguished gentleman.
I'd say so. You said that's the best. I'd say Breath of the Wild's combat is the best.
Well, yeah, probably, but it's essentially Wind Waker, but improved upon. In some ways, actually, I think Wind Waker is better. You do have combos. Breath of the Wild just lets you have more weapon types, and they expand.
There's not really combos
because you pick up like the weapons that other people drop, but you have like one swing and a spin attack that you can do with it. So it's not really that much.
Listen,
but you can throw them, and that's a blast.
Listen, you have taken over this interview with Kosmic to talk about how great Wind Waker is. Yet again, I think everybody that listens to this show knows your opinion. No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Well, they just need to hear it some more. It's that good.
Yeah. So the next question for you is, how did you get into? Well, wait, I did want to ask a clarifying question. So have you always only owned Nintendo consoles?
Yeah, pretty much. I yeah. Let's just say yes for simplicity's.
I'm almost in the same boat. One
Yeah.
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, the Sega Genesis, and then converted. GameCube was his first Nintendo console, but you did play a lot of N64 with
Ooh.
other people.
Yeah.
So then, tell us? I've heard this story before because you've told this story on different interviews and also on streams. I think in your Mario Marathon, you talked about this, but I guess give us like a Cliff Notes version of how you got into speedrunning.
Sure. So, I actually 1 or 2 days ago saw an old YouTube video of mine in the description. So this was like an Ocarina of Time speedrun, and the description says let me actually just go look it up really quick. Basically, I saw speedrunning videos and I thought they were really cool. I would see a lot of tool assisted ones, which just showed off cool things in games, and it would expanded them. It made more possible in them than there were before, and I just thought that was really cool. And I thought it was too hard most of the time, so I didn't try it much myself. I would mess with some of the glitches, but couldn't do half of them. And as a result, I definitely wasn't gonna do any full runs. And I also just thought, as a lot of people do, that you can't get into it because I'm not doing very good at it, so I can't do it. I'm not gonna get a world record, whatever. So I just didn't try. Here, okay, I found it. The description of this old Ocarina of Time speedrun, when I finally did start trying, says, I realized I had no chance at beating any records. So I decided to make my own route, and I just did whatever I felt like. I just made up a reason to actually do a speedrun, because I thought I'm not allowed to do this unless I beat records or something. Kind of tangent. But anyway.
Well, I gotta ask. So, age wise, how
Sure.
How old are you at this time? Because I could definitely see that perspective from someone that's a lot younger.
Yeah, I was 16.
Hi.
And also segmented runs were a lot more common back then, and a lot of people were doing runs to try and submit them to Speed Demos Archive. So there kind of was a different culture, but yeah. A lot of things I tried were just too hard. But finally I saw Ocarina of Time Bingo, this explanation video about it by Brian MP16. And what Ocarina of Time Bingo is imagine, your regular bingo card. It's 5x5, and instead of someone calling out something and you put a bean down on the square, you do the goals in the game. So if you're playing Ocarina of Time, it could be get 3 shields and 3 boots. It could be get bottled blue fire. It could be beat the fire temple, whatever. And you have to do a row, 5 in a row, and then you're done. So there's 12 different possible things. Each time you want to do one of these bingos, you can decide on any of the rows, columns, or the diagonals, and you just get to pick. And it's just the coolest thing ever, I think. Unlimited possibilities.
Those
different
are
routes.
Super popular even now. You see a lot of top viewed streamers and YouTube creators doing these randomized bingo cards for Mario, Zelda. Yeah, I didn't realize they started that long ago, because you said you started speedrunning when you were about 16. So
yeah, so 2011, and nowadays there's a lot more things actually randomizing the items in the game and the entrances and all sorts of stuff. This was sort of the first stab at it, where you're essentially randomizing your goal in the game. And so that sort of broke the entrance barrier for me, because I didn't have to get a world record. I was just trying to do a bingo for fun, as if it's not everything else isn't for fun in speedrunning. So yeah, that's what I got started with. And once I started, I went to a website called Speedruns Live, which is where you would go to race the bingos. And because I was actually interacting with the community, suddenly if I didn't know how to do a trick, someone would just be like, this is what you're doing wrong, and I would know how to do it now. So very quickly just got a lot better. And then, sometimes I would see a race for a different game like Super Mario Bros, just a random example. And I would race that and go, oh, okay, I want to get better at this game now. And here we are.
Nice. That's super cool. Super cool. And so, like, really getting involved with the community was like a big part in you getting more into speedrunning as a whole. Sounds like.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of how I started streaming too, because a lot of times you would just stream the race as like proof that you weren't cheating in it, or I don't know, just to stream it.
So, I mean, we're skipping quite a bit here. Like, fast forward, when you first really, I've asked you this before because I watch your stream, so I've been in chat. You first really like took off as someone with like who was getting like a ton of live views and views on your stuff about the time frame that you were racing back and forth for the any percent world record with Darbian, correct? Is that about that time frame?
Yeah, probably about then is like really the beginning of I guess content creation. Well, that's like when it was more than just a hobby, I guess. Even though it like still was, that's like the beginning of it potentially being more than one, if that makes sense. Because yeah, before then I probably streamed to like, no viewers, and then like 10 viewers, and then like maybe 40 viewers. But then Super Mario Bros. Any percent world record chase kind of, Darbian had like 1,000 viewers, so like I'd get 300 or whatever when he'd send them over or when he was done streaming.
Nice. And it's so what I was completely unaware of speedrunning at that time frame in speedrunning history. So what was it like in that time frame? Like racing, was it like highly competitive, or were you guys pretty chill to each other? Because I know both. I've watched both y'all's content, and so like know that you guys are both pretty chill people.
Yeah. We were chill. This was 2016, and so the way the game was is there were only like 1 or 2 places you could save time, unless like some other tricks that were known about but weren't like feasible could become feasible. And late 2016 that happened with a trick called the flagpole glitch was found, where you can save time on every flagpole. And so that isn't just like, oh, there's one new trick. Now there's like a bunch of new tricks because it's on every flagpole. Mm-hmm. So it really took off when we were all making like a mad dash to try and fit as many flagpole glitches as we could to get new world records. And so there was like 3 or 4 in the span of a few months.
Yeah, it seemed like that's kind of the case for any time a new trick was discovered for the game. I am definitely into watching speedruns and like that whole culture. You like see all the summoning salt videos, which you've helped out with quite a few of those, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Micah, if you've watched too much of those.
No, I've watched some, but I haven't watched a bunch of speedruns.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to like hear the behind the scenes, because sometimes like people get really, really competitive, but it seems like the Mario Bros speedrunning community is like an extremely positive place overall. Everybody's very, very nice. I streamed trying to beat Mario Bros as fast as I could, because I'd never tried, and like seriously had like just a whole bunch of random people come on that just search for Mario Bros speedrun tags, and everybody was super nice, and that's just kind of like the vibe I get in general in being in the community, that everybody's really cool, and everybody's like working together to almost like, it's like when someone breaks the world record, it is on them, they're awesome and great, but it's like a win for the whole community, which is very cool.
Yeah, For sure. There's, yeah, I think that sentiment comes up a lot in, different speedrunning communities. Like it's kind of there in most of them, but like some more than others, I guess. And I'm pretty grateful that retro Mario community is like really leaning that way.
Yeah, for sure. So fast forwarding here, tell us about how you like first decided to take the leap into becoming a full-time content creator. I mean, this is fairly recent. I think last year was your first year doing that.
Yeah, as far as full time goes. Yeah. So because I was getting Super Mario Bros. World records and just uploading some like high level speedrunning content, I slowly got like 10 to maybe 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. Because also sometimes like a big YouTuber might be like, hey, I want to make a video about this. Can you help me? And then they give me a shout out. And so I would just kind of slowly like get some subs. And then 2020, actually, I don't know if I've mentioned this part too much in interviews or anything, but 2019
in chat didn't like his boss at work and decided that it was time for full-time speed running.
Yeah, that's there's some extra layers of jokes in there that only a couple people probably get. But anyway, okay. End of 2019, there was a event called GSA Legends, which if anyone knows what Beyond the Summit is, they host at this like event space, like big esports competitions, like big invitationals, the best of the best players. And so they were just kind of like testing the waters with like some kind of speedrunning event, and they worked with Global Speedrun Association to do it. So I was there, and there was like some other guys who are pretty big on YouTube, like Smallant and some others, and we were all just kind of like talking about it, and I just like made me want to like give it a try more than I had, like really trying YouTube specific content. Because like I said before, it was like mostly if I got a record, or it wasn't like I'm really making YouTube videos. So 2020 rolls around, I started doing that, and at the time I was just like, all right, I like figured this video would work, and it did. But like looking back now, I'm like, holy cow, I was very fortunate with how well that year went, because I went from 20 to 100,000 subs, which is like crazy looking back.
Yeah, that's a big leap. That's a big leap.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think because like I said, or I've been around all of this stuff for like 9 years at that point, so like I had a good idea about how these things should work, and I think that helped a lot. But and also like getting started is always the hardest thing, and I kind of had my start already, so that helped. But yeah, 2020, I was working, like Datsun mentioned, and also using basically all my free time to make these videos. And towards the end of the year, I was like really exhausted. I was like, I still want to make all this stuff and do even more, but I need free time. So I decided to do this during my work time and then have free time afterwards. So yeah, that's how I made the switch to truly full-time in 2021, and it's been good.
This is essentially working 2 jobs in 2020 and then moving to where you could just do this. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Really interesting. I didn't know that. It was interesting to hear the part about the GSA interaction with other creators there. So you talked with other creators that were doing the full-time scene, and you could see that they were being successful. Did that make you feel more comfortable trying to do it, I guess?
Yeah. It's hard to explain. Like, there's sometimes something that just hasn't ever crossed your mind in just the right way. It's like it's like almost impossible. Just like I couldn't get into speedrunning because it was like too hard. And then suddenly it was like, okay, I'm just gonna like try bingo or whatever. It was sort of like that, where I'm like, I can't be full-time whatever. Even if I did, I probably like couldn't make it truly work. I could like scrape by maybe. But then I had those conversations, and it again, it just switch kind of flipped. I was like, I should just try it and then see if it works, and it did.
That's really cool. And that's interesting that it parallels the speed running, the content creation.
Right. It's like it's weird how no matter how many times you can still make a similar mistake. Like speedrunning's too hard, and then like finally I do it, and clearly it's possible. And then like I really like Super Smash Brothers Melee, and I'm like years deep in speedrunning, and I'm like, that game is too hard for me. And then like finally I just tried it, and I play it a bunch now. And then yeah, same thing with YouTube and like full-time Twitch and YouTube. It's like that's too hard, and then like I just had to finally try it.
Micah, do you want to take this next question here?
Depends which question are we on.
That one, yeah.
Okay, so
he like highlights it in the notes.
Yeah, sure. But first, I got my own question. I just got to real quick. Like, whenever you set a record, you kind of just like dread the day when someone beats it. I mean, my speedrunning experience comes from like Mario Maker with 5 friends. We play a level, then we make a level, then we all try and speedrun it. But some of those levels, I worked so hard to get the record on, so I just like dread the day when someone beats it, and then have to go back and try and beat it again.
Yes and no. Like Andros was saying, Retro Mario is like pretty cool. We're just like happy for each other, and especially like the sequel, Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan, also known as Lost Levels. Dude, me and another speedrunner, Takate, this was like one of my favorite times speedrunning, because he and we were just like sharing notes. Like he sent me this document that's like, here is how you get 755. Let's do this. And then we made it happen. And it really was like team effort. But yeah, for the most part, I don't think I've ever seen someone beat one of my records and been like, ugh. But SMB 1 any percent is like a whole different beast, super separate from any other categories I've done, where sometimes if someone beats that one and you wanted to have it longer, it could feel bad, because that one is just a monster to get every time. And so also like sometimes I would go to like this game night at a friend's house, and he would be like, this is my friend, he has the world record in Super Mario Bros. Wait, it might have gotten beaten out, he's like second. And I just this is like a dumb reason to like want to have the record, but just to not have that awkwardness of he's like second best in the
yeah,
world
he
or
used to
something.
be the best.
Yeah, it's just like
Washed up now.
yeah.
Number 2.
And I'd be like, bro, I still have like these 5 other records. Can we just say I'm world record speedrunner, please? But yeah, anyway.
Oh, yes. World record speedrunner holder problems there. I wouldn't quite know that experience.
Yeah, this thing, Micah and I've talked about, like, man, Micah's dedication to beating me at games, if he could somehow channel that to wanting to beat everybody else as well, he would have any percent in everything. I think his determination goes beyond any skill, I think, that exists. To give an example here, we were both playing Panel de Pon at the same time when it released on the NSO app, and discovered that there was like, if you do a certain button combo at the front, you can unlock a special extra hard mode of Panel de Pon. Are you familiar with that game, Cosmic?
Yeah,
it's the classic puzzle.
It's Tetris Attack / Pokemon Puzzle League.
Yeah.
/ Panel de Pon. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, great series, needs to come back. And so I challenged Micah. We had previously both raced to beat the hard mode, and I got it, and I was like, oh, did you know there's an extra hard mode? And you stayed up till like 4 a.m.?
I wish it was only 4 a.m. But I also sometimes have trouble sleeping, and this was one of those nights. But I played essentially 13 hours straight overnight until like 9 in the morning.
I have yet to beat it, by the way.
But I beat it.
It's
and
pretty
I don't
tough.
recommend it to anyone. It is so hard. The computer on that is so broken.
Yeah, that sort of determination, man. That's the sort of thing you need for any percent Mario Bros at this point, anyways. I mean, that record is getting lower and lower and lower. But yeah. So yeah, did you want to take that next question, Michael?
Yeah. What's been your experience on the NRG speedrunning team?
Yeah. For those not familiar, NRG is a esports organization similar to other ones, like maybe there's Cloud9 or TSM or whatever. And so what I do is I am contracted with them basically to record content with them along with a few other speedrunners. And I bring this up because sometimes people don't understand what that channel is. They're they just think me and the other speedrunners on there got together and decided to make a channel, but that's not really how it worked. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just to record different type of speedrunning content than my normal stream would, or recording alone would be, and it's been good. And I didn't know the other, I was aware of the other speedrunners on there before, but I didn't really know them, so it's been fun getting to know them too.
Yeah, the dynamic on that channel, it's one of my favorite channels to watch, because I watched quite a bit of Point Crow prior to Energy Speedrunning, and started watching you about when I started watching Energy Speedrunning. I discovered you before that as a content creator, but wasn't watching all the things that you put wasn't watching all the things you put out, but the dynamic between the three of you is so funny, because you each person, well, it was 4 when you guys started, but each person has their own personality, and it just all meshes in a way that it feels like you're watching just friends play together. So I'm surprised that you didn't know each other beforehand. It seems like you guys all know each other.
Yeah, especially if you watch the very first one, we raced Run 3. It's just some Flash game, and mid recording it, I was even this is pretty natural, dude. I don't know any of these guys, but we're just speedrunning or racing or whatever. I don't know. It's pretty chill.
Yeah, it's a good mesh. The next question we have in here is, how did they approach you for it? So you guys didn't start that, the three of you, as you've clarified here. This is the official spot where people can learn that Kosmic did not start the NRG speedrunning team.
Yeah,
it's funny because people that watch Mario Bros game content probably aren't familiar with NRG.
Yeah,
because they're more esports, which Mario is not an esports game.
Yeah. It's actually weird to me because I watch a ton of Smash Brothers Melee tournaments and kind of esports stuff like that. So I'm familiar with how that all goes. And there's a lot of people that just watch speedruns and don't know about esports team or whatever. So that's been pretty interesting. Because that's just normal to me at this point, but having to explain it, or people ask a question, I'm okay, you just don't. You're just fundamental misunderstanding here.
Yeah. It's fairly
anyway.
new. It's fairly new, and at least from what I've seen, that esports is kind of mixing with speedrunning. There have been several. Gosh, you guys just did a charity race against another group,
CLG.
CLG, who did something similar where they hired or contracted several speedrunners.
Yeah, I would say 4 or 5 years ago, maybe, is when the first speedrunners started getting picked up by CLG and Panda, and for those who don't know, esports teams make no money. They all lose money. They're all just doing it to hopefully esports gets bigger and then they're ahead of the game, kind of a thing. So it's always they're always taking a risk or an investment, hiring people or whatever. So speedrunners had to grow to a point where it was even possible for them to consider that, I guess. That's probably why I only been around a few years. But yeah. Also, I think a lot of esports organizations are kind of shifting towards more content creation type stuff. Like there's some esports teams now that aren't even they're not there to win Dota or whatever. They're actually just made a team to make content, which I think is really interesting. So yeah, I think even in the past, some teams have hired speedrunners, but I think something cool about Energy is that we were specifically brought on to like make content, and so it's been fun.
That is, yeah, it is interesting because
you asked how they approached me. I still haven't answered.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So they approached you. Then it sounds like not you. You
yeah.
were like, hey, Energy, would you please bring me in?
Yeah.
The speedrunners.
Yeah. Like, can I just name a channel this? No. They basically messaged, and it was like pretty vague. They were like, we have like some speedrunning project cooking up. Can we talk to you? And I just thought it was going to be like an event, like do a run for an event. But no, we started talking, and they're like, yeah, we want to like put this team together. And I went into it thinking they were talking about some event. So I was just like, are they going to like ask me to be on Energy speedrunning org? Like, this is crazy. Especially because compared to some other people who had gotten signed, I feel like I was a lot smaller. So
yeah,
I'm pretty grateful for the opportunity.
I was going to say, I mean, this isn't to throw shade your way because you have definitely a lot of subscribers. But I mean, compared to the other three guys, I think Lil Curbs is up there with like 500 something thousand subscribers at this point, and Point Crow's like
million,
very, very big creator. And it's interesting as well because like Easy Speezy joined. I'd say I think about the time he joined, he wasn't actually as big as he is. He is like
he has tripled since then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're like, hey, Energy, why didn't you do that for me?
Dude, it's always crazy sometimes when you see some people and they're like, oh, today's my 2-year streaming anniversary. And it's like, you're like top 10 biggest people? Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's really cool. I mean, you certainly weren't a small name. I like the thing is like when we were talking about having you on the show, and anytime in any sort of gaming sphere, would be like, yeah, we're gonna have Kosmic on Nintendo Pals podcast. Everybody knows that name. They're like, oh, the Mario Bros. Speedrunner. So maybe that's it. It's just the prestige of the records that you held and hold.
Mayhaps
you rode the wave of
some of them. You're only second place. I mean,
yeah, kind of a terrible time and place in them now.
Yeah, we got in chat here. Not gonna lie, Miss Ben in NRG. Yeah, it was a good group. So, I mean, you probably don't know. I was gonna say, is there plans to expand energy speedrunning? Will you guys have more people growing, going forward?
Yeah.
If that's against contract or whatever, feel free.
We can sometimes like suggest things like we should do a video on this, or this person could be a cool addition. But what we record, how they title it and chop it up, and who they hire, totally not up to us.
Yeah, that's crazy. It seems like because we're so used to in YouTube culture, the face that is on the video being the creator of the video, if that makes sense, that I think that's where a lot of confusion comes in, where people are like, did you guys just like all get together and make this channel? Because there is no energy person. Like, you guys are all your own creators coming together. So
I've seen so many comments of like the NRG speedrunning channel like makes comments on some video and people reply like it's us. Like all the comments think it's like one of us, and it's just not.
Yeah, it's the unpaid intern over at NRG running their YouTube and social media accounts. No, who knows? It's
Well, I know who it is, but
Oh yeah, you know. That's funny. Okay, so so from here we have a bunch of questions from community members out there, and the first one actually ties into energy quite well. So it's a good transition from the questions we had prepped to community questions. So this was from Mugglemoo, who asks for Kosmic, how long have you been part of NRG? And do you like doing NRG or your own stuff more? And also, was it like a goal for you to get onto NRG? So 3 questions in one.
Interesting. So we, when they asked us to do it, we were the first people on it, right? So I didn't have a goal to be on NRG. I thought like this lofty eventual thing of like being on some esports org would be really cool, but like the NRG speedrun wasn't a thing, so I didn't think specifically of them. But yeah, basically, I saw some other people and I was like, that would be super cool someday. And yeah, I like recording them. They're just like totally different. I haven't done like a lot of collabs, and honestly, one thing like your content is family friendly. That's actually like it's pretty hard for me to do them sometimes. I'm like, it'd be cool to collab with this guy, but I don't think I could, because he just says some words that I don't. So
Yeah, it'd be hard because that's like how you brand your channel. We face that problem so much because like I want to do like more raids and more collaborations, but it's that same kind of thing where it's like, well, like Micah and I don't we don't. We're just family friendly in real life. Mm-hmm. Like that's just like our personalities. We were talking before the show. It's just kind of like part of who we are. And so like I always search now off the family friendly tag, and that's what I like base my raids off of. Like if or if someone we know, yeah, totally get it. Mm-hmm. Wow. Also, you don't do a lot of collabs, so we are honored. We're among the few. That's cool. Let's go. We probably wouldn't fare well in a race. We could be in one of those videos that's like, how fast can 2 regular players beat Mario Bros?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like maybe they should add me to the NRG team so they can have like the baseline regular person who's not a speedrunner. Because then it would kind of show off how good you guys actually are.
That's true.
Yeah, there you go.
Now the baseline right now is currently like Point Crow in every video. I'm throwing him shade. He actually barely beat you out in that last like Pokemon one you guys did.
Dude,
anyway, so you guys can tell
every single Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm
like there first, and I just get rolled by the gym
I know.
somehow.
Listen, I've never like watched a video and been like, yeah, and then just like so crushed. Even though I'm fairly certain it all happened like a month prior to the video coming out. like my cheering is all way too late, but yeah. Mm-hmm. I could geek out. I'm turning into nerd Kosmic fan. I'll chill out over here and get back to the questions here. So yeah, so you've been part of NRG for about a year.
Yeah,
less
a year in March.
So do you like doing NRG or your own stuff more? And yeah, that was the last question in that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really even compare them because, like I said, they're like 2 totally different dynamics. Like one's with multiple people, and then one's just me. Like sometimes editing a video, like what does doing my own stuff even mean? Sometimes it's me just like recording clips and like putting them together, and then sometimes it's like just sending a Twitch VOD to an editor. So like I don't know. It's a question I can't answer.
As you say, a shout out here to TechHit who popped into our chat, which you did give a shout out earlier. I think you said you collabed on stuff. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But he says we're all nerd Kosmic fans here. We're all Kosmic crew here. Yeah,
let's go.
Let's go.
Crew with a K, or
it is crew with a K. I think that
is what my Discord's called. Yeah.
Earlier,
I'm like, the K is so tacky, and then like I just put 2 of them in there.
Do it again.
Is it at the beginning or at the end of Crew?
Oh my god.
CREWK. Krook. So our next question here comes from Schlimtor. I think that's a familiar name in the Cosmic Crew community. What is your favorite GDQ memory or moment? Either or. I guess I should clarify what GDQ is, because I know not everybody listening to our show is like as into speedrunning. That is Games Done Quick, a event for speedrunning. Like the biggest speedrunner event.
Yeah, really big.
They just did like awesome Games Done Quick raised like $3 million this last week. So like it's a big deal. It's huge.
I think a lot of people, when they ask this or think about GDQ, they might think like, oh, it's going to be this moment when I did this in one of the GDQ runs on stage. But the reason most speedrunners are there at that event has nothing to do with the huge room that they do all the runs in. They just like go hang out in like the side rooms or in the hotel rooms or go and get food or whatever. And that's like the main reason a lot of us want to go to them. If you get a run into the marathon and you get to do it on the stage, that's like bonus cherry on top. But those events are just super fun to go and hang out with people that usually you only see online, and you get to like just do fun stuff in person. So like a good example would be me and Some Wes, another top Super Mario Bros. Runner. We did the co-op record, which is like you pick 2-player game at the start of Super Mario Bros. And then when the first person, it switches you whenever one person dies. But if you don't die and just beat the game, then it switches to Luigi and he just plays until he game overs or beats the game. So he beat the game in like, a few seconds off the world record time. And then I started as Luigi and did like the same run basically. And so it's like a pretty solid, really cool co-op run. That would be a good highlight, I would say.
Nice. That's a good one.
I don't think I could handle the pressure of going second. Something like that. Oh man, they did such a good run. I can't mess it up.
Yeah. Extra pressure, but it's hype, dude.
Co-op in that it's not really co-op, it's just take turns. Speed run and then speed run.
Yeah.
All right, so the next question, I think Schlimtor had 2 questions here. I've like lost where I'm at on the chart. What are some of the crazy speedrunning gaming challenges you've attempted? For example, beating Super Mario Bros. 1 with your feet, or playing the game blindfolded, etc. Right. I think that's for everybody, because I have also I have done some. Micah, have you done any like crazy challenges? Looks like we got some work to do here at Nintendo Pals. Blindfolded Metroid Prime?
I don't think so.
I don't even think that's.
Oh well, you know what? I did beat Metroid Dread 0%, collecting no energy tanks and missiles.
Oh yeah,
that's
you
probably the craziest I've done. And that, I mean, for me at least, that was very difficult. That main boss took a while, and your hand starts cramping up, spamming that.
Shout out to Datsun in chat, who lawn mows and paints at the same time. Pretty impressive. Fellow lawnmower streamer, Datsun. We connect there with the outdoorsy grass clipping. Cosmic, what are some of the crazy? You have done a lot, but what are some of what you consider the coolest, craziest speedrunning challenges?
For those who have heard of the Power Glove, it's like the first motion controller, I guess, and it doesn't work that well. And I beat Super Mario Bros. 2 Japanese version, the Lost Levels. I beat that with the Power Glove. So it's like a notably hard game, and then with a really bad controller. So also, like the whole game, you're just like moving Mario to the right. So I just like hold my hand up here for like 5 hours trying to beat the game. That's like the real challenge.
Just
Yeah, we
holding
just, like,
your arm.
use your other arm to like support
Yeah,
it.
I'm just like trying to jump. Actually, it's really weird. I'm surprised because if you try and do this for like 5 minutes, you just die. But somehow, I don't know. I guess breaks between dying like makes it semi-doable or something. I'm surprised I actually could or didn't get more tired than I did.
Like gamer
But-
adrenaline.
That's it, dude. The next day, I was just like, oh, so ripped. No. But yeah, that would be a good one. One I want to do that I haven't done yet is beat Battletoads damage list.
Oh, okay.
So
That would be
is-
very hard and impressive.
there's a speedrunning leaderboard for it with 2 completions on it. So I would love to be in those 3 epic gamers on that leaderboard.
Yeah. You have done chat percent. I looked that up shortly after completing chat percent for Breath of the Wild's Great Plateau, and but he went a step further. He did it without sound. I at least had sound when I did my chat percent. So, but I think that took you like 12 hours, right? It was some crazy long amount of time.
Yeah, I can't remember. 17? Because it was like several different streams.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like when I started that challenge, I almost got to the World 4 pipe like 4 minutes in, like so fast, and then instead, like 1-2, I died, and then 1-2 took like an hour. And that's how those things go. Like some things are just so hard to. It just has to like all line up. You just happen to do it right in the end.
For me, the craziest challenges I've done have all been Breath of the Wild challenges. I have beat the game with only bows and arrows. That was like the first like challenge run I did. But then did a chat percent run and did a cook every meal in Breath of the Wild. Now that one was I think was one of the ones I'm most proud of because of all the prep work that had to go into it, like to formulate a route, like get all the different, because there's a lot. Chef of the Wild hype in chat. Yeah, Chef of the Wild. And it took longer than I expected. And then I guess most recently the nose percent. So that one came about because I was like wanting to do another challenge run. I just finished editing my chat percent one and was like, man, I want to do another Breath of the Wild run, and I want it to be like a YouTube video. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do, so I was like, well, maybe I could play with my feet. Well, turns out that has been accomplished extremely fast by speedrunner. I can't remember his name, but he did the entire game damage list 100%. That was like a big story for.
It like boggles my mind.
Yeah, but he said that was easier than feet, because he did all dungeons with just his feet, and he was doing like speedrun tricks, like clipping through. I'm like, how? I was like, well, I'm not gonna do feet because I want to try doing something that hasn't been done before. So I was like, what hasn't been done before? So what you do is you go to a Point Crow and you like look at his video history. He's done everything, man, like anything you could think of, but he has not played with his nose. And I couldn't find anybody who had played Breath of the Wild with their nose, just like with their face. So that's what I tried. This is where the ideas come from. When you have no other ideas, this is where good content creation comes in. Thank you so much for the question, Shlimtor. That was a good one. Okay, so the next question comes from Solo Something. Asks, how many runs of a game or hours of play on average does it take to get to the point to be ready to stream a speed run? I think this is targeted towards you, Kosmic.
Stream a speed run. I feel like there's an undertone I can read between the lines that this person might think they need to be better than they actually do in order to do a speed run. Like, you can have actually zero preparation and do a speed run. So the technical answer is 0 hours. If it's like an extremely long game, maybe 0 prep, you might not like beat it in one sitting or whatever. But most games, like, yeah, you can. But there's a challenge called the 12-hour challenge, which happens twice a year. The upcoming one actually just got announced. It's like the first week in February. And so this is a really common thing. People will spend 12 hours in order to learn how to like do a speedrun and then do the best speedrun they can once like they're close to the end of the 12 hours. So that's really like not a lot of time in the grand scheme of things. And you can get like an okay round of a game in that time. So again, it all kind of depends on how much experience you have with the game, playing games in general, speedrunning. If it's your first speedrun ever, hey, maybe you do a 12-hour challenge. Your run is like awful, but I always love having an awful first run because, when you speedrun, you have like these splits that say how far ahead you are or behind, and your second run, man. If your first run was awful, your second run is so fun because you're like, dude, I just saved like 20 minutes right there.
Yeah, there you go. And it really depends on the length of the game too, right? Like, I've seen a video of you somewhere. I think it was NRG, where you explained your world record, talking about how like Mario Bros is one of those games where the speed run itself is pretty fast, so you can get a lot of attempts in, which is so if you're playing like statistics, you have a lot more attempts in the same amount of time as something that takes like an hour to speed run.
True. That's why I was surprised the damageless thing he said was easier than with feet, because like you could play 20 hours of Breath of the Wild and then take damage and like it's over. That's just crazy.
Yeah, they have to restart it.
Yeah. But yeah, someone brought up in chat my very first speedruns of Super Mario Bros., the game I'm most known for. The first one, I didn't have any speedrunning practice of it at all. I played it before, but I did a race of it, and like everyone else in the race was finishing in 6 minutes, and I finished in 1 hour 10. So yeah, just go for it, dude.
There you go. That's good. I think that answers the question pretty well. The answer is 0. So then this next question here has nothing to do with speedrunning and is more of like a modern a question for all of us, asking, it's like totally changing gears here. Theory craft what the gaming environment may look like in 6 to 8 months from now for Nintendo and PlayStation, with Microsoft deciding to spend some cash to buy up spots on the board. So he's referring to big news in gaming industry as a whole this last week was Xbox bought Activision Blizzard. Like they just bought it, which the amount of money, you're like, wow, that's a lot of money, but like it's a lot. It's more than you're even thinking, looking at the number, which was about 70
billion.
It was a billion. Yeah, I'm like, it's a billion.
So, yeah.
That's still, oh my gosh, it just boggles my mind. That's like
the net worth of Sony.
Triple the amount that Disney paid for Marvel and Star Wars.
Right.
Like, it's just like mind blowing. So I guess this question here is like, what do you guys think? Will Nintendo and PlayStation join the arms race and start buying up third-party studios? If they do, who would they buy? I've always wanted Nintendo to buy Sega.
Can you not an independent one? Can you buy Rare from Xbox?
I think now Nintendo just needs to buy Xbox, Microsoft, and just
right.
Ultimate power move.
They just buy Xbox. Yeah, that's the thing, is like with the whole Activision Blizzard thing, Xbox traditionally, they haven't really proved themselves to me that they can buy a studio and then things get good. Because I mean, you look at Rare and it's like, They killed it. Like Rare died. All those IP like totally died. But
I think there's a lot of really interesting ones out there. Like there's Ubisoft and Capcom and Square,
yeah,
which have just made things for like everything. And then if one person buys them, it's like, oh. I guess if they make some cool game I'm interested in, it's like could just not be on Nintendo consoles anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like that's the thing with like this Activision deal. I think it's more of a blow to Sony than it is to Nintendo because it's not like Call of Duty's been a regular staple on Nintendo. I mean, it was on the Wii. Wait, wasn't it on the Wii U too?
They had the Wii U. Yeah, Black Ops 2, I think.
Yeah, we played
and Ghosts actually.
We played Black Ops on the Wii U. Oh man. Anyways, we're one of like 10 Wii U owners out there.
Yeah, well, don't pretend you got a Wii U back in the day. Yours was a gift, like
no,
2
we had
months
no,
ago.
we had one. My family
Did you?
bought one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got my own 2 months ago.
I get that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought 2 Wii U's. That's how big of a fan I am.
I think technically, didn't you buy neither of your Wii U's?
No, they were both gifts. So one was a family system, and then the other was a gift. Anyways,
Shout out to Nintendo Land. Top 10 games ever.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Actually, since they've ported all the other ones, it's actually just the only reason to have a Wii U now.
That and Virtual Console, which is like real good on the Wii U. Real good.
So good.
Cosmic doesn't like virtual. I remember you struggling to get all the Mario games. Oh, that was a good stream. Check out Cosmic's stream where he played 10 versions of the original Mario Bros. It's a really good video. Let's see. So another company I was thinking of, Bandai Namco. They've worked on like the latest Smash Bros. And they did Pokemon Snap. Seems like that'd be a good fit for Nintendo to pick up. I feel like Square would get eaten by Sony.
Because like they used to have their Final Fantasies only on there and stuff like that.
But at the same time, Sony's been like doing this weird thing where they've been moving away from the Japan like center office, and they're moving more stateside, where Nintendo's like, nah, we're Japan. This is where we're at. And so maybe they wouldn't. Maybe Square would come back around like the old SNES days. They'd be like, all right, we'll stick with Nintendo. Who knows? I feel like Nintendo has never been. They very rarely purchase third parties. I think the latest one they did was it Retro? No, there was one
studio.
No, who makes the sports games? Camelot.
Yeah.
Or have they had Camelot for a while?
And they also make Golden Sun.
Yeah, we need another Golden Sun game.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's where I'd see them going for something smaller like that if they were going to do anything. So, gosh, who makes Shantae? What's that company? I'm having an absolute like brain flub, but that company.
Way Forward.
Way Forward. Yeah, they've done a
head.
lot with Way Forward. So where they're like not quite as big. They're not like Ubisoft, you know. But man, I don't know. Like it's weird. I'm really kind of more of a fan of gaming staying more separate. Because I mean, monopolies are never really a good thing. And so like I really hope this doesn't become like the norm, that companies are gonna be like, oh man, we better buy everybody up, and everything gets consolidated, because it leads to less competition and games not being
fewer
as
unique
good.
viewpoints.
I think so. And honestly, just like anything getting eaten by big corporations, I mean, it's just a struggle to be creative in a corporate environment. Like that's just the reality. It's so big, and trying to manage that, it stifles creativity. That's why you see so much cool stuff come out of the indie scene versus AAA studios. So anyways, thanks so much for the question, Solo. Let's move on to the next one. Micah, you want to take the next one from Spider Shan?
Yes. For all what game... like reading this weird. For all what game would you most like to learn to speedrun if time weren't a factor? Oh, for all. I'm
For
so
all.
bad.
Right.
I read that. So a question for all. What game would you most like to learn to speedrun if time weren't a factor?
I'm curious what your answer is here, Cosmic.
Yeah. A game I would love to just get super sick at is Donkey Kong Country 2. It's really hard though. So the if time wasn't a factor thing made me think of that. Because it would take a lot of hours to get like super duper good at it. But there's also another answer I thought of, which is a game I played recently called Aeon Drive. And it's this game where you have this knife thing, you like chuck it somewhere and then you can warp to it. And so
Yeah, I remember you playing that one. Yeah.
yeah, the movement is so cool, and I feel like if I was just starting speedrunning now and I didn't have all these games I'd already played and like I want to get this time in this game, blah blah blah, and I just wanted to do some cool project, I think that game would be really cool to speedrun.
Nice. Michael, how about you? What's your answer for this one?
No, I feel like it'd still have to be a short game just because I can't speedrun long games just because then it seems like, I mean, even if I fail, I'm still getting like the experience and whatnot, but it just feels like so much wasted time to me. So on the few occasions I've tried to speedrun things, I prefer like shorter games. But I don't know off the top of my head.
I was gonna guess like Metroid Dread for you.
I was thinking Metroid Dread, but there's also kind of a couple of them involve like clipping through walls and shooting things, and those kinds of like very technical
Like frame
things
perfect.
just drive me crazy trying to do.
Yeah, I mean the realistic answer for me is Breath of the Wild. I'd say like I'd love to get better at that one. I can sort of speed run it. I've never done a full speed run. I've mostly done the challenge runs. Kind of like how Cosmic got into speedrunning through bingo. I was like, well, I'll just learn some speedrunning tricks and do some of these like weird challenge things, like play with only bows and stuff like that. It would be really cool to like actually go for a one of the categories. Maybe not any percent, but that would be fun to go for. But like, there's a bunch. That game's really popular speedruns. It's got a whole bunch of categories. But if time weren't a factor, besides that, I probably I was thinking about like all these games. I don't think it would be very fun to get good at speedrunning Ocarina of Time or like those 3D Zeldas because at this point they're like not super fun to watch. I don't know if you guys have watched like the latest ones with the arbitrary code execution glitches where it's like Link isn't even on screen for half the time and the speed runs over in like 5 minutes. I that just doesn't look enjoyable to me to play. Whereas like if I had gotten into it back when it was like wrong warp to a child Link to fight Ganon, like those were like really fun to watch. Not that these new ones aren't cool and like really fast, but just doesn't seem like it'd be as fun to speedrun. So that's probably why I'd go with something like Breath of the Wild more than something like Ocarina of Time.
One comment on that is there's sort of this breaking point a lot of times in games where like they do make separate categories for stuff, and if there's like some like very glitched version of the run, that's usually like you're saying, you watch this once and you're like, okay, that was interesting, but most people like don't run it, or they might like do it once and then they don't like run it that actively, and then they'll just keep running the wrong warp version or even just like all dungeons or something more interesting like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think maybe doing other categories in Ocarina of Time would be fun. I think Zelda games are fun to speedrun. It would be really fun to learn to speedrun Plock. Plock's a classic.
Go.
I have watched the speedruns for that. It's actually a pretty long speedrun. I think I actually don't remember what the any percent world record is, but I mean the game's really undiscovered, so it's like there's a lot to learn in it still. Whereas like a lot of these games are like close to solved. At least people say that, and then new stuff comes out. But like it's very, very active. Like Mario Bros is one of those games, right, where it's been speedrun for so long, and like new discoveries are very rare at this point. The opposite problem comes from games that are more obscure, like Plock, where there's just not enough people
like
running
4
it.
speedrunners.
Right, there's not enough people running it, so there's a lot more to uncover and discover. So I think doing a game like that would be fun, just something relatively unknown. And I mean, speaking of which, I mean, I don't mean to say that Billy Hatcher is a pretty unknown game, but I hadn't heard of it. I hadn't heard of it until I watched Kosmic speedrun it and Schlimtor playing through it. So is that kind of your experience with that game, Kosmic?
Yeah. Since I started following the speedrunning scene and like getting into that game, the record was 1 hour 9 minutes. Now it's 1 hour 4 minutes. So it's gone down 5 minutes in like 4 years or so. And most of that is, just like, well, I'd say like half of it is just people getting better, and then half of it is like so many new tricks being found. And there's just always potential for some little thing. Like you can not even run the game, you can just watch it, and you're like, why don't people do this? And then people are like, huh, I just it never crossed my mind yet. So
kind of point out in chat, the dad world record in Billy went from null to 1 hour and 14 minutes. That's dadspeedrun.com, website in the works for dad speedrunners.
When will you join the Billy Hatcher dad percent?
That's a good question. When I get a GameCube, man, GameCube is so expensive.
Yeah,
That's part of the problem is it's like so hard to find like cheap GameCube and games. Billy Hatcher's
As far as
probably.
the console goes, just get a Wii.
Yep. Yeah, you just got to get a Wii.
But true, a lot of the games are flying up there in price.
Oh yeah, I want to play Thousand Year Door so bad. Like that's the one that
good.
I'm like, I gotta play Thousand Year Door. Oh, but nope, not gonna happen until I see.
Yeah, we meet in person, and you can borrow my copy.
Yeah. So the next,
really quick, Micah, do you know what Billy Hatcher is?
I did kind of at some point, but I'm not confident in my ability to get. Is that the 8 one? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I vaguely know what Billy Hatcher is, but not much about it. I've seen like 7 minutes.
You love the GameCube, and like if you're looking for a cool GameCube game you never played, that is one. Although when you play it casually, there's some jank in it for sure that could be frustrating, but overall it's just a really unique game.
Yeah, my first search result is someone selling it for $1,200 on eBay. I don't think
that's the going price. No, it's like $70. It's kind of expensive, but yeah.
You go. Christmas present for Micah. I'll find you a copy. I'll find you one. I would enjoy that, watching Micah play Billy Hatcher. I'd enjoy playing it too. It looks fun. So the next question from Spider Shan is directed just to you, Cosmic. Question for Cosmic: what type of game do you enjoy playing and not trying to speedrun? Like as a casual.
The same ones that I speedrun. Like no memes actually the answer, but yeah. Usually a game is just like cool enough on its own that I also go on to speedrun it. But let's see. I bet I play like most AAA Nintendo titles that come out. Like I'm looking forward to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
So like that's a good example of a game that I don't think I would speedrun, but would be really cool. Games that have a lot of randomness, like, you know, maybe some RPGs. Like I love Mario and Luigi games, and then like I could like maybe speedrun them, but they're also kind of long. Probably wouldn't. Let's see. No. I like games with some good movement, and so if a game is less based on movement, then I probably am down to just casually play it, but maybe not speedrun it.
Have you played Spelunky?
I have played Spelunky at my friend's house. A lot of dropping down onto some spikes that you couldn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask just because it's like
I
the 2D
I don't know how
platformer
people
for
speed run that. It's like with all the randomness, it's just like you can't get an incredible time unless you're also very lucky and also very
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, and it's different than see, if you were going to run like Pokemon, for example, you could be like, okay, for this guy, I'm gonna do this strategy. Unless he does this attack, then this is my backup. And so that's different than, okay, the game is different every time, and I have to get like a good seed. Like that's a super no go for me. Whereas the other, I could do it if it's just I need to have more strategies in my back pocket.
yeah. The thing is, like, that's a super popular realm of speedrunning. Like Minecraft, like exploded the last couple of years in the speedrunning scene, which seems like a
Mhm.
game that I would be like, who would ever speedrun Minecraft? You know, because it is that it's completely randomly generated everything. Yeah. So like it's funny that you say that because it's like such a big part of the speedrunning community at this point among like all these different games. Like Hades was really big for a bit there. I know Spelunky has a strong speedrunning scene. Man, yeah, I agree. I can't speedrun those games. At least not. I mean, obviously
Not
not.
that
They're
Yeah.
still going
speedrun
for
games, anyways.
yeah, but it's a lot easier to. I don't know. It's a lot more fun to me to do something that isn't random
Yeah. And
competitively, like on
if,
on a competitive trying to beat my own time kind of deal.
mhm. Yeah, like those types of things, learning to speedrun them, like as far as I would go would be just kind of learning to do a good playthrough of the game. But if I don't think with that sort of thing I could, be like, I really want this time, and then sit and reset until I got lucky enough, that kind of a thing.
Yep, it's just so many attempts, so many attempts that are just like, oh well, the dice were rolled bad for me, like that. Yeah. Thank you so much for the question, Spider Shan. Okay, so two more questions here, and then we'll wrap up. This one comes from Legendary Epic Adventures. Asks how to get into the speedrunning community. So, yeah, Cosmic, what are your tips and thoughts? I mean, that's kind of your story. Like that's how you started, was getting into the community. Currently,
Sure.
like what would a new person that wants to try getting in do to do that?
I would pick a game, be like, I like speedruns of this game, and then go to speedrun.com and look up that game and see who like some of the top runners are. A lot of times there's going to be a page with guides and stuff, but also you could just like message or like go in that person's stream, like click on some of the top people, see if they're live, and be like, hello, I want to play. Is there a Discord for this where I can ask some questions? And that pretty much will do it.
Yeah, I think even on speedrun.com there are Discord links.
Oh yeah, there are Discord links. I forget that.
I mean, you can go in and message.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a whole bunch. Hey, Cosmic, I want to get into Mario Bros. Speedrunning. Is there a Discord for that? Yeah.
In fact, there is.
Yes. Yeah. The thing is, at least for me, when I was first getting into speedrunning, Breath of the Wild, I joined the speedrunning Discord, and it's just huge. Like, it's a little overwhelming. Like you're like, okay, well, I want to start this thing, and then you're like, oh, look, here's the building for like the class on how to do that, and you open it up, and there's just like thousands of people inside, just all like that's kind of virtually what happened to me, and to the point where I was like, well, I just didn't really even like talk to anybody on there. So do you have any tips for like that sort of effect? I guess that's probably not the case for games like Plock. You open the Plock door, and there's like 3 people in there. And you're like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Yeah, dude.
New guy, and they all start.
If you want to run Billy Hatcher, you go in there and like you start streaming a casual playthrough of Billy Hatcher, and you'll have half the community in your chat. So,
what a good! That's so cool. Speedrunning's so cool. I love this, man.
Half the community being 4 people, by the way. But let's see. Yeah, I haven't ran games that are like that big, where I would feel that way. I've gone into some discords that are that
Mario
big.
Bros is that big. I mean, that's pretty niche. I'm sorry, just giving me a hard time.
When I started running it, Discord didn't exist, and I was like the only runner. Day. But yeah, I don't think I'm like qualified to give like a great answer for how to deal with that, because I haven't really dealt with it. But I would just ask, what tutorial should I use to start, and then like watch it and start learning, I guess. That's like always the first step.
Yeah, and if we've learned anything tonight, it's just do it, and like there's no reason to not, even if you don't think you're qualified to do it. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun. And the last question here, I didn't read. I should put this one up earlier. When is Andros starting his playthrough of Breath of the Wild using only his ear? I don't think it's possible to push the plus and minus buttons with my ear. That's the problem.
And if you got a piercing,
oh well, yeah,
I think you could.
I'm really dedicated to that run if I'm gonna get a piercing for it.
Like the classic finger earring, just like push the button.
You just got like a big finger. So I think this formulates to a good question to sort of wrap things up here, and that is, what is planned for Kosmic in 2022? Like what do you got coming down the pipe as far as things you're planning on working on, maybe challenges you're trying to do with energy? I guess the floor is yours here. What's coming up?
Sure. There's sometimes I'll be like, have this project on the back burner. Like I wanted to, just as an example, get to the kill screen, or maybe even 1,000,000 points in the original Donkey Kong arcade. And that's something I'm like, I'm gonna do this like 2 years ago or 3, and I like still haven't done it. Probably not doing it this year either. But there are some others. Maybe. Yeah, eventually maybe. There's some others like Super Mario 3D Land. I ran that in 2013, 2016, and maybe 17, and I haven't played it since. And I am going to return to that game this year, for sure. I'm gonna make it happen. So that's nice. Something I'm excited to play again. As far as making YouTube videos, I have a lot of good ideas. Like I have some different styles of videos I'm gonna try that I haven't really made before, and so in 2020 when I started, I had like this list of ideas that I'd just been building up, and then when I started, I just did them, and then the list was kind of like dwindling, or I hadn't like really solidly fleshed it out in a while. But I've got a big list right now. Like in the past month or two, like an idea would pop up, I'd like write it down. I have like this huge list now, so we're never gonna be like struggling. Like sometimes you just feel the need to get something out, and you don't have something super good, and you just kind of like do something, and that's not, it usually doesn't go the best. But I should put out more things I'm like satisfied with, because I made this big list. So
I guess lists aren't all bad.
Yeah, this comes full circle.
Yeah. Talking about the backburnered list.
Yeah.
Is there any planned expansion with NRG that you're like? Are you guys going to be doing more events, or is it just going to be that content creation, kind of doing that stuff?
Yeah, I really don't. I don't know.
You are not NRG, as we've established. So
I have no idea.
Nice. And I guess that answers that question. How about any like, are you going to play Mario Bros with just your ear? Just kidding.
Probably not, but yeah. I will do some other stuff for sure.
Nice. So where can people find your stuff and watch your videos and content?
Sure.
This is your time to plug all things Cosmic and shout out any special spots you want people to go check out anywhere.
Yeah. Kosmic. That is the username on YouTube and Twitch, and not on Twitter because it's taken. But you'll probably still find me. I'll be the one with the Mario picture if you search that. So we'll just that's what to search for. YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. That's where I put stuff.
Nice. All right. Well, with that, I think that wraps up the episode. So, if you would like to follow Nintendo Pals, you can do that on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We are at Nintendo Pals on Twitter, at Nintendo Pals Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and just Nintendo Pals on YouTube, I think. And it's like, I originally picked the name Nintendo Pals for our channel because I was like, oh, this isn't taken anywhere. And then like we only started on certain platforms, and then by the time we expanded to the others, it's like, oh well, now it is taken. Those scalpers even taking usernames nowadays.
Dang it, dude.
They're getting us everywhere. So yeah, you can check out all of the links to Cosmic's stuff as well as our stuff will be in the description of the video version of the podcast if you're watching this on YouTube, or the podcast description if you are listening to this on a podcast listening app and platform. While you're there on that podcast listening app or platform, be sure to leave us a 5-star review. Really helps our show out. As smaller podcast creators, it's like immensely helpful to get those 5-star reviews because it moves us up in the search rankings. Google goes, ooh, 5 stars. I like that. And then puts us up even higher. So big shout out and thanks to anybody who does that for us. And you can follow us and subscribe to us on Twitch and YouTube. With that, I guess we'll do our send-off here. Cosmic, you want to give us the closing remark?
Yeah, dude. I was just wondering, is the K in Nintendo Pals at the beginning or the end?
Oh, that is a fantastic callback. All right. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.